Hey guys, thanks for tuning into my first official YouTube video. My name is Allison Campbell, also known by the pen name A.G.M. Campbell, or at least that's the plan. And today I'm going to be doing the Authortube Newbie Tag. So, question number one is, how did you find out about Authortube? So I actually didn't find out about Authortube until quarantine, basically. So when I started working from home in, I think, like March, April, somewhere in there is when I found it. Because for some reason, I was just looking up info about, oh, I remember what it was. I was gonna try and finish the last book in my fantasy series. And I was trying to get back into it. And so I was looking up how to write a series, just to find any tips on how to be more cohesive between novels. And that's how I found Bethany Atazadeh. She had a video about making a series Bible to help with her fantasy series, which I will link her video below that I found. And then it was just a rabbit hole that I went down. I was like, I didn't know that there was a special community of writers on YouTube. And I was like, why didn't I know about this? I thought I knew all the things since I was involved with Nanowrimo for years, and you know, for some reason I never knew about Authortube. Safe to say it's changed my life, because I mean, look at me, I'm on Authortube right now. That wouldn't have been a thing last year. Anyways, that was all for question one, so we better get moving. Question two, what genres do you write in? Well, I like to explore, so I've written in quite a few genres. The ones I prefer are fantasy, romance, and young adult. Although I do like writing adult as well. Just right now I'm more focused on young adult / new adult, which makes sense because that's kind of my age. I also like writing screenplays. I've written a couple screenplays, and I can see myself continuing with that over the years because I'm really into film. Always have been, always will be into film. I'm not a fan of poetry though, so yeah, not really. I also like horror and sci-fi, so like I might dabble there. But fantasy, romance, and young adult, definitely top 3 if I had to pick. Number 3, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? So I prefer to write in past tense. I haven't really tried present tense, but it just doesn't seem appealing to me at all. Like, I think it would be really weird. And I really like writing first person, because I like to like basically put myself in the shoes of my character and just like, you know, like look through their perspective. I feel like third person is like more withdrawn. Nothing against third person. I have written in third person a couple times, but I definitely prefer first person. I feel like it's more personal that way. Are you a plotter, pantser, or plancer? I would say that I am a plancer, because I plan a little bit, but it's like loose planning, and I kind of plan as I go. I used to just be a pantser all the time, but then I started getting into outlining, because I mean, it makes sense, because then you have some semblance of an idea of where you're going with the story. Makes things easier. And so I got into outlining more, but I'm not like obsessive about it. Behind me you see the outline for my current novel, which I started I didn't get very much of it planned out ahead of NaNoWriMo, so a lot of this was put together during the month of NaNoWriMo, and I haven't even finished the outline. So it's not surprising I haven't finished the book. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? I am yet to be published, but I anticipate publishing my first novel in 2021, which is very soon. So that's super exciting and terrifying. And I will be self-publishing. What Authortube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? I'm still kind of figuring that out. I definitely like vlogging. I would like to do some like sort of tips / opinion videos, just about based on my experiences as a writer. And then I'm not sure. Since I'm so into film, I might find a way to connect film to writing somehow. I don't know, like tropes in movies, something like that, that's like related to story, but based around film. We'll see. But I definitely want to first and foremost document my experience going through publication every step of the way. So just coming on here and being like, hey, you know, I sent my novel to beta readers and this is how it went, and this is what they said, and this is what I'm doing next. Just to show what it's like to self-publish, and also so that I can look back one day and be like, wow, that's how I did things then. Cool. When did you start writing? I started writing as soon as I could form letters, basically. And even before then, I was telling stories, making up stories to go along with pictures. And yeah, so since birth, practically. First grade is when I say that I started writing. The next question is, what was the first story you ever wrote? I am not sure exactly, but the first story I remember writing was Harry Potter fan fiction. Yeah. I was one of those kids. And I'll probably do a video about that fan fiction at some point. Maybe even read a little bit of it, which I will regret. But it's amusing to say the least. And there was almost no plot. It was really weird. Anyways, I had some feelings back then, and I still have feelings, but I at least know how to write a story now. I also used to write stories about, I have this stuffed mouse named Mousy, who has been my companion since I was 1 year old, and I wrote a story where he was the main character, and he, like, saved all these other animals from a big evil hawk, and I'm very proud of that one still. I remember that vividly. What authors have inspired your writing the most? Definitely Neil Gaiman. He is one of my favorite writers ever. Also Stephen King, although I don't know if you'd be able to tell from my writing that I'm into his books, but he inspires me. I don't know if he inspires my writing. Maybe someday. I do have some like dark twists and gross, violent, disturbing things every once in a while, and you're like, huh, this girl must like horror too. You know, not just pretty romantic things. I like a nice blend. Also Meg Cabot. This is just going to be all over the board because Meg Cabot mostly writes young adult fiction, sometimes fantasy / paranormal, but usually, like, I grew up reading the Princess Diaries series when I was in middle school and high school. So yeah, her books are fun, and they really got me into writing for the young adult category of reader. Also Sarah Dessen, same thing with the young adult fiction. Her stories are amazing every time. Like, you just get drawn into the story and invested in the characters. I don't know how she does it. I've read all of her books, yeah. I haven't read all of Meg Cabot's books, but I do have a very large collection. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I left off Tolkien and Rowling. We won't dwell on Rowling at the moment for obvious reasons. But yes, Tolkien, yeah, I mean, that mind, those worlds he created, like, it's incredible. Like, anyone who writes fantasy was most likely inspired by him at some point in their lives. But definitely it was a big inspiration for me. After my first series comes out, it will become clear that he inspired me, I think. Those are the big ones, so I guess finally move on. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? At the moment, I always schedule my writing because I have a day job that takes up quite a bit of my time. I also have a lot of things to do around the house because of my husband's schedule, but you know, things are subject to change. I'm hoping to get a different job soon that will give me more time to write. But at the moment, I probably could write, you know, if I just sat down and was like, hey, I guess I'll try and write right now, like randomly. But at the moment, I always just schedule it out ahead of time. Like, I'm gonna write this weekend. I'm gonna write tonight. I'm gonna write this morning. I'm definitely more motivated during NaNoWriMo and Camp NaNoWriMo though, because I'm very motivated by deadlines and competitions. So when I set my mind to do something, I'm always determined to do it, to carry through. So that's why NaNoWriMo is really good for me. I like that structure in my schedule. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? So I actually none of those. I use dictation software. I recently had an HP computer, and so I used Dragon Naturally Speaking software, and I would have a headset and speak into a microphone, and it would, you know, put my words on the screen. But now I have a new MacBook Air, and that software isn't compatible with it. However, MacBooks have like built-in dictation capabilities, so I've been using what's built into the Mac to dictate, so I don't have to use a headset anymore. I just talk at my computer basically and it types it up. However, there's a lot more mistakes, so we'll see if I stick with that or if I try and seek out a different method of dictation. But the reason why I use that exclusively now is because I sustained an injury in my hands during NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, I think 2014. Yeah, I think it was July. And that month I took it too far. I was typing and handwriting. So like I would handwrite a chapter and then I would type it up. And my thought process there was that like that way it wouldn't be as rough of a version that was typed up. Also, I just liked the aesthetics of writing by hand, but 50,000, well actually it was more than 50,000. I think I did 75,000 words in a month because I had no social life back in high school. It was the summer before my senior year that all this happened. And yeah, that was too ambitious, and I did not listen to my body when I felt pain from doing all of that, and now I'm just damaged. So yeah, long story short, I have chronic pain now in my hands, wrists, and arms. And so because of that, I cannot type or handwrite for prolonged periods of time. I can do like a little bit, but not like writing. I have to do it by dictation now, which has its pros and its cons, but that's another video. What are you most looking forward to now that you're part of Authortube? I'm looking forward to the writerly community and making friends, and also building my author platform just getting my name out there, my name in my face, and meeting other writers, authors, readers, and just having fun. I'm basically obsessed with writing, and I have been my whole entire life. I've always wanted to be a writer, like, as my job. I'm always down to talk about writing. And that's me. That's all the questions. So, if you have any more questions for me, leave them down in the comments section. And if you are new to Authortube and you have not done this tag, I tag you. So you must do this tag now, person. Thanks for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. It'll help out the channel a whole bunch, especially since I'm brand spanking new. And also, yeah, feel free to comment and subscribe for sure if you want to see more content. And click the little bell if you want to get notifications every time I post. Thanks for tuning in. Bye!